I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. This is the Peddling Fiction Podcast. I am your host, the voice and soul of so-called fiction, Johnny Profita. Hopefully with a functioning computer. Only time will tell. But back with me is the one and only Justin Hillbilly Boy Campbell. What's up, man?
It's good to be back. It is good to be starting to get kind of some degrees of back to normal.
Yeah. Well, it's really good to see you. I'm glad we're making it through this the best we can, I guess. It was good to. I told everybody we talked on Friday, and what can you really say other than you're taking it in stride, I think, as good as anybody can. And
I wish we had gotten to do a show Friday, but at the same time, it was good to just sit and talk to you for a little bit because, like you said on Tuesday, like it was the first time you and I had really talked since all this happened. And, it was good to just sit and talk for a minute. And like I said, I wish we could have done a show, but after talking for a little bit, I definitely wasn't going to be able to. And I don't think you were in a.
I wasn't. No, I was saying I was like, yeah, I'll do an episode on my own. And then as soon as we got off, I'm like, dude, I can't just talk into a microphone right now.
Yeah. And that's understandable. And that's, for me, writing on my Substack has been really good. And it's been a good way to kind of get it all out of my head and off my chest and kind of deal with stuff. And I guess people actually kind of like the stuff that I write. I've gotten a lot of messages about the stuff that I've been writing, and I don't know. I just write to get it out. So it's not, weighing me down. And if it helps other people, that's awesome. I know a lot of other people have gone through similar things. My aunt has been huge. So about 18 years ago, 2 weeks before Sean's accident, my cousin was in a car accident and died. And so my aunt called me, and she's been great to talk to throughout the whole thing. And other people have reached out, and I'm not alone, even though I sit out here alone most of the time. I'm not. And that's been really good. So I really do appreciate everybody that listens to the show that's reached out. And I know people think nothing I say is going to be right. And I don't know what to say, but whatever you say is right. It's what I needed to hear when you sent it and when you said it. So I really do appreciate everybody that's reached out. Now let's move on to more happy things.
There you go. All right. So what's going on with Ozempic? Because this is one of the things that I have not been following.
All right. Well, you had sent the article on this, and I thought it was interesting. Let me pull it up right quick. Ozempic slims America, and it's lightening truckers' loads.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember this.
So all the Mondo fat fucks are now eating less, and actually, interestingly enough, a lot of them are actually going to the gym and trying to be more healthy. And so it is affecting freight. Like there's not as much, people are more health conscious and being more healthy about what they eat and stuff. And so it is kind of altering freight across the United States as less junk shit is getting moved because less people are buying it. So like at some point you're going to start to see this affect like the way grocery stores and convenience stores and stuff handle stuff. Like you don't have all these mondo fat fucks just buying up everything all the time. Like who would have thought that, you know, having a shot that could make people lose weight would completely alter the economics of the whole country? I mean, like it could be interesting to see how this all plays out. Now, granted, Ozempic is not meant to be a weight loss drug. It just so happened that it also had the side effect of causing people to lose weight. And then doctors started prescribing it for that. But like, so like my ex-wife is on not Ozempic, but one of the other very similar ones. And it's a diabetes medication. And she and her whole family have a history of diabetes. Excuse me. And so when she started taking it, I was like, you need to like be careful with that stuff. It can be kind of dangerous. And she's like, no. She actually explained it to me. She's like, the way other people are taking it, yeah, it absolutely can be dangerous. And she explained to me what kind of a prescription she was on, and it's specifically for her diabetes. And she's lost some weight, but not like an exceptional amount of weight like you see like Amy Schumer and Lizzo and some of those. She's lost a little bit of weight, but she's doing it the healthy way. And I've got an aunt who's also on it that it's a similar thing. Like she's on it for her diabetes. She has also lost some weight because of it, but she's doing it right for the right reasons. But like the people that aren't, that shit can be fucking scary. Like it has some like long-term health repercussions. And like, I guess it's great that America is starting to slim down a little bit, but it would have been, and you know, all the body positivity shit is gone out the window. Like we're not going to be able to do a fat fuck anymore because
yeah. Yeah, Lizzo's being morbidly obese isn't as beautiful as being a Victoria's Secret model, the old kind of Victoria's Secret model.
Well, and you started to see that too. The like Victoria's Secret has gone back to having the traditional angels, the traditional models. They've gone away from like in-store displays and stuff. They still have some of the plus size displays, but like as far as the models go, they've gotten away from that. And you're seeing that a lot across a lot of the clothing industry is they're going back to more traditional model types. My wife is a former model, and you've met her. She's tall and thin, and when she was modeling, she was even thinner than she is now. And she watches commercials and stuff, and to see these morbidly obese women modeling, she's like, they're just let anybody be a fucking model. What's even the point? She's like,
certainly not to make the clothes look good.
Right.
Dude, I haven't seen, I mean, I don't go to too many like department stores or anything, but they definitely don't have that here in Mexico. Like they'll have the mannequins that they use to like display the dresses and stuff at all these little kiosks and outdoor shops and everything. They're stacked, dude. They're like little fucking dime pieces. I think it would be hilarious if I walked into a place and there was like 175-pound man, like a mannequin of a chick that weighs like 175 wearing a fucking bikini or something. It was just ridiculous. Or fucking fupas hanging over the front of it. It would just be so ridiculous.
It was so funny when Sean was like getting early teenage years. We went to the mall and we're just walking around and went by like Lane Bryant and Torrid, which are the plus size women stores, and they had like the display models and then like the posters and stuff, and he's like, oh god. I was like, dude, those aren't even fat. Like those are just like a little bit hefty. He's like, wait till you see the really fat ones. And like, let me find you some commercials and stuff. And then he's like, oh no. I'm like, yeah. Like ruining the Victoria's Secret model for teenage boys.
Yeah. Well, luckily they have an internet full of porn, so they don't really need the magazines anymore. So, but going back to the Ozempic thing, I do remember when it first became a thing. This was like a year or so ago. There were some people that were like, it was paralyzing their stomach. And I remember that was like a major complication that people were having. And I was like, dude, it's going to paralyze your stomach. Like, I didn't even know that could be a thing, but I guess it makes sense. Yeah, you got to be careful. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, use it as like that initial fucking jolt to give you some immediate results to motivate you to get to the gym and stop being a fat ass and then stop taking it.
And I think since the initial wave of it, they've started to kind of figure out what they were doing wrong and what they were doing right and balance it out a little bit better. But still, I mean, it is not supposed to be a weight loss drug. It's supposed to be a diabetes treatment. And if used properly, it's fine. But if used incorrectly, it can be pretty fucking scary, which I don't have that problem at all. I'm on the other side. I'm trying to pack on weight.
Yeah.
Which is so far working. I'm up over 190.
Nice.
So from hitting my rock bottom right after surgery at 152, I've put on.
Holy shit, dude! You were 152.
Yeah. The week after surgery, I had to go to the doctor and they weighed me, and I weighed 152. So I've put on almost like
if we pulled you out of Auschwitz, that's what you would weigh.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to gain weight. I'm up about 40 pounds, so that's good, but not quite where I want to be yet.
I didn't realize you got that low. It's like fucking my weight, dude. It's like you're 6'5".
Right. I'm half a foot taller than you, and
Jesus Christ, dude.
Well, Stephanie, when I got down that skinny at the time, I weighed less than she did. And so once I got back up over like 170, she was like, all right, now I feel like comfortable with your weight because you're not like threatening me to be the skinniest person in the house. I was like, thanks, dear.
I hope you took some pictures of you being all emaciated.
We did. She took some and I took some. And I guess I ought to post some progress pictures. I don't know. She sees it more than I do. She says I've put on quite a bit of bulk, especially in my back and in my chest and shoulders. Like I've gained quite a bit, and I actually have a stomach again. I don't look like I'm caving in. So it's all going in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll work now that they know that they can use Ozempic as a weight loss thing. Maybe they'll work out some of the kinks that are making it more dangerous. It kind of seems like all of the big medical breakthroughs in pharmaceuticals are always like a mistake. You know, dick pills were supposed to be for like heart medication or like blood pressure. Penicillin was a fucking accident. Just like, I think we should just go off of accidents instead of running all these expensive tests on drugs that never fucking work or make it to market.
That's the thing, is they make these drugs that are supposed to do one thing, and then the side effect ends up being something that actually is marketable. And so then they just abandon whatever they were trying to do with it. And they're like, hey, we'll just market the side effect. Like,
yeah,
makes you lose weight, makes your dick hard, whatever. Like, people want that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. It reminds me, I've been trying to, the last like fucking week, I've been driving myself crazy trying to get Grok to code this strategy for me. And at one point, it took 13 trades, and they were all bad trades. I was like, okay, Grok, do the exact opposite of what you were just doing, because we'd have 100% fucking win rate.
You're creating your own inverse Kramer.
And then, of course, as soon as I told him to do that, he reversed it, and it took 0 trades. I was like, yeah, great. I've just been going back and forth. Way too many trades that stuck to no trades at all. I'm about to give up on it. It was just sort of like a little side project. I was like, yeah, let me see if I can do this. But it's been driving me absolutely insane. Not worth it. I'll just sit in front of the fucking screens and do it myself. Anyway, I guess that's it. What else we got?
I'd say, well, speaking of taking some bad trades, the U.S. debt has hit 39 trillion.
Yeah, I feel so like I don't know, dude. I feel like it was at 39 trillion for the last the last year and a half. But maybe I was just rounding up from like 38.5 or something.
Yeah, I think right before Trump came into office, it was at like 37, and then they added like $1.5 trillion basically in 6 months, and then kind of crept its way up from there.
Yeah, and of course we had a debt ceiling at some point in there. They raised that, and it's just so out of control, dude. It's so fucking out of control. I didn't send you the chart of it. I'll probably let me send that over to you because I don't want to pull up. I don't want to try to take control of anything. My computer will bomb out. But this is in the wake of, Hegseth is asking for another $200 billion to fight this war in Iran. The war that's not a war, that is a war. That's over, almost over, not really over. We're in negotiations. They're going really well, but we're not really talking to anybody. So, but this is just like the amount of debt that they're piling on, and just the fact that it's not even talked about, dude. Like, it comes up in like my Twitter feed and stuff, but it's just like they're not taking it serious. Thomas Massey is the only person that really kind of takes this thing seriously. And we just had the FOMC meeting last week where rates remained unchanged. Now they're actually the poly markets and stuff like that are pricing in possible rate hikes, which I don't think we can hike rates anymore. I just don't. The interest on that 39 trillion is over. It's like $1 trillion a year now. It's more than the defense budget. I think Medicare is still Medicare is like 1.1 trillion or something, or 1.2. I forget what the latest estimations for that is. But if they raise rates, I mean the interest we're going to be paying on 40 trillion is going to be fucking astronomical. We can't raise rates. Where's that chart? Here it is. Let me send this to you. This is great, because this just shows you that it's really not, people like to fall into their Republican Democrat camps. It's everybody. It's every single fucking time. Like, this chart has not remotely fucking stopped climbing since we went off the gold standard in the 70s. So if you're just listening, this is a chart from basically 1900 to 2025. And you can't really see anything until 1940, which is World War II. And then it jumps up a little bit. And then it kind of flatlines until, of course, 1971. And then it basically doubles by 1980, and then it just parabolic rise. And they color coded it based on Democrats or Republican presidents. I think it's presidents. I don't think that's Congress.
Yeah. So from 2000 to basically 2008, during the Bush administration, we went from about 5 trillion to upwards of 10 trillion. I think pushing around 12 there. And then Obama comes in and we go from 12 trillion to 22 trillion. And then Trump comes in, we go from like 22 to 26, 27, which isn't as bad as the last two. And then we get Biden, we go from, what are we, like 27 up to 36, 35 and a half. Like, golly, and that's in 4 years. Like 10 trillion in 4 years is fucking insane.
Yeah, I know. We're running basically $2 trillion deficits, and there was all that COVID spending in there, And now it's like, okay, now we're gonna fight another fucking war, which just seems like it's going off the rails. There were some really discouraging reports that came out today, which is why the markets were tanking. But this is going to cost a fucking fortune, which we don't have. And just look how unsustainable that is. Like, I don't care what kind of chart you're looking at. When it looks like that, it's over. Like, nothing goes up like that forever without a massive crash. If there was any way... Yes, yeah, I heard. Yeah, it takes money to kill bad guys. Well, that's why we gave them $900 billion every year for as long as I can remember. So what did they do with the last fucking $8 trillion we gave them that is missing from these fucking audits? Go find that and use that to bomb Iran. How about that?
Hey, fighting another country's wars is very expensive, but might be getting that senior citizen discount with the next group of enlistees. They're gonna raise the enlistment age from 35 to 42. That means I can go fight. No, thank you.
Yeah, I can for the next 6 months. I qualify. Well, a year, I guess. A year and 6 months. I'll be 42.
Expanding its recruitment pool by allowing older recruits to enlist. Sources familiar with the decision said this is a long-term effort by the Army to widen the recruiting pipeline amid persistent shortfalls. Let's examine all this by the numbers. The Army is raising the maximum enlistment age from 35 to 42. The minimum age to enlist remains at 17 years old with parental permission. This is not the first time the Army has raised its age cap. In 2006, during the height of the Iraq War, the service lifted the cap to 42. The Army lowered it back to 35 years old then in 2016. Bringing the limit back up puts the Army more in line with other branches like the Air Force and Navy, which both cap enlistment at 41, while the Marine Corps' cap is 28 years old. Along with the age increase, the Army will now allow enlistments of individuals with only one marijuana-related conviction. Meanwhile, the military has seen an increase in interest. In 2025, enlistment reached its highest levels in 15 years, with an average of 103% of recruitment goals achieved across all branches. Despite this, the biggest hurdle with recruiting has been a lack of eligible candidates. The Pentagon estimated only about 23% of young Americans 17 to 24 years old are eligible to serve. Much of this is due to academic performance and obesity.
Just put them all on Ozempic and you can get them.
Yeah. Yeah, my first thought when I saw this was like, oh, this is because everybody's a fat fucking pussy. Now I got to lace my boots back up and show these kids how to fight.
Well, and the crazy thing is the academic ineligibility. Like, my ex was a medic in the Army for about a year. She did her basic training and AIT before we found out she was pregnant with Sean, and she pulled out. So when she was in basic, they had people that were getting like waivers, like ASVAB waivers, so they couldn't pass the ASVAB. Like I don't know if you remember what you made when you took the ASVAB in high school. I made like a 94 or a 96, and I didn't try. I think the Army, to qualify, you have to make like a 40. There were people that were having to get ASVAB waivers because they couldn't score a fucking 40 on that test. And so they would have basically it was like going into, I don't know if you had any friends or anything. Like, I had a buddy that he was really good at math and science, but he was terrible at English. So on the ACT, he scored like a 30 on the math part and a 28 on the science, but he scored like 14 on the English and reading parts of it. And so when he went to college, his freshman year, they made him take a remedial reading class. He was like, I know how to fucking read. I don't need to be in a remedial reading class. I just don't do good on the test. But so basically the ASVAB waiver is like for the complete dumbasses that can't score a 40 on the ASVAB. They get to do like remedial classes to get to go to basic. So like, if academic ineligibility is that big of a problem, that means these people are like legitimately fucking stupid and cannot, and they cannot, they basically can't function as adults.
being too dumb for infantry is really something.
Right.
Dude.
Anybody that's like mad about how we need to, or that's mad about the Trump administration trying to do away with the Department of Education or whatever, it's like, what's the Department of Education doing? It's pumping out kids that are too fucking dumb to be cannon fodder. Like that's
like, yeah, they would probably end up shooting each other accidentally because they're that fucking dumb. Like they would do more harm than good. I saw it. Yeah, I keep seeing all these posts. I have one. I sent you one about Bernie with AI, but like they were talking about replacing teachers with AI, and Bernie and everybody were flipping out. What are you talking about? And they're like, oh, this is how we treat all our. And they call, of course, every teacher is a fucking hero. It's like, you got to be fucking kidding. You have not met enough teachers. 80+% of them are fucking worthless.
Like, okay, so Katie goes to the smart kid school. Like her school is consistently top 2 or 3 in the nation for like public high schools. Most of their teachers are not teachers. They are professionals who now teach. Like they have a severe shortage of certified teachers at that school, but all of their teachers are like former professionals who did something in the field that they're teaching the classes for. So like, yeah, what do we need? Like, what do you need teaching degrees for? Find people that actually understand what they're fucking doing and understand what they're teaching, and have them teach based on what they know, not on whatever college tells you your curriculum should be that you should teach. Like this is consistently one of the top 2. Sometimes they drop down to 3, but usually it's number 1 or number 2 public high school in the country. And most of their teachers are not teachers. They are professionals who are now teaching.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's again, I mean, this is again, just 100% falls at the feet of government fucking up an industry. Why do we have to get all these certifications? Well, because we got these fucking teachers unions that don't want the competition, so they lobby the fucking government to put in all these rules and regulations to protect their fucking shitty jobs so that they don't have to try. And no matter how bad the performance is, no matter how dumb kids get, they get more money. There was I don't know if I sent you the thing in Chicago. It was like there was a school that has like 27 kids in it or something. It's 97% empty. I might have just retweeted it or something. I can't remember. But it's like somebody was making the point. It's like, yeah, this is basically just the jobs program for the fucking teachers and the administrators. Like there's no fucking kids in this school because it's such a bad school. And, God knows what the kids are doing. But yeah, they still have all the staff there, but they're basically spending $90,000 per student. $90K. And I bet you those fucking kids that are there will not be able to read or write or anything. So it's got nothing to do with class size and all those other bullshit excuses they come up with. Dude, when my parents went to school, I remember their class size, they had like 50 kids in their classes. And somehow they had no problem fucking learning how to do everything.
It's funny you talk about 90,000 per student and all that stuff. Like a couple years ago, Kentucky was having a vote on a bill that would make charter schools and other private schools eligible for state tax dollars. And basically what it said was the tax dollars of the parent would follow the student to the school that they choose to send them to, instead of your tax dollars just going to the county schools. Your tax dollars would follow your student to whatever school they went to. So everybody was like, oh, that means all of these like local schools are going to lose all their funding and blah 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 blah. It's like, y'all obviously don't understand how any of this funding works. Like if you go and you dig into, and it's all on the fucking state website for like the Department of Education and how the funding breaks down. And so like the way that it all broke down was the state claims that they spend X amount per student per year for these schools. But then when you go dig into it, what you find out is there's actually a minimum amount that the state is required to send the school per student per year. And so what they do is any of like the school where I grew up, they're going to get the minimum. And then everything in excess of that is going to get funneled to bigger schools in Lexington and Frankfurt and Louisville and other places, or all these like different public schools that aren't actually public schools. And it's like, this is an opportunity for your kids, for your tax dollars to follow your kid to the school you want them to go to. And the state of Kentucky ended up voting it down because people are fucking stupid and don't actually understand how all of this works. And I would post something almost every other day, like breaking down the numbers, breaking down like, this is what your tax dollars are actually going to. This is why you should 100% be in support of this. You should not vote against this. And it still ended up losing like 65-35 or something. It's like, and granted, I mean, me by myself can't convince a whole fucking state, but like, how are people so uneducated and don't have any fucking clue what's actually happening with your tax dollars, especially if you have a kid that's in a public school and you want them to have a good education? Like, understand what the fuck is going on. Like, this whole public education thing has created an entire generation of fucking retards who don't understand how any of the system works, and they're not even curious enough to go figure it out for themselves. It wasn't hard. I just combed through the Kentucky State Department of Education website and found all of the numbers. Like, it wasn't difficult. It took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like, it's not hard, but people won't even try. And if you tell them, they tell you, oh no, you're wrong. It's like, I'm absolutely not wrong. You want links? Like,
that is one thing that they've been very successful at, is just killing curiosity. I can't tell you how many people worked for me that were like, they would never question anything. Like, I would just tell them stuff and they would do it for like years. And I'd find out like a year and a half later, like, they don't know why they're doing it. They never ask why, like, or like just like a certain phrase, like a turn of phrase that people use all the time. They have no idea why it's called that. It's like, dude, you've been using this phrase for like 20 years. You never thought about like what it means or where it came from. You never just Google it. Like, you can just Google it. It takes 2 seconds. Be like, why is it a stitch in time saves 9? Like, what does that mean? It just never occurs to them.
The lack of curiosity about the thing that you do for a living is crazy. My wife started a new job back before the first of the year, and the lady that was retiring and was training her didn't understand the job at all. She was teaching my wife how to do things based off of, she did everything in this particular order. She didn't know why she did it in that order. That's just the way it had been taught to her. So that's the way she did it. Exactly. Like, there was no like, okay, but why do I do this? Well, because that's the way it's done. No, but why is that the way it's done? Like, what's the root of the reasoning behind doing this? Like, well, that's how I was taught, so that's how we do it. Like, absolutely no comprehension of the job itself. It's like, anytime I have to work on something or do something at work, if my employees will sit down and take a second, like, I explain to them what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and so they understand, like, there's a lot more that's going on with all of these moving parts and stuff than just me clicking buttons. Like, there's a logical progression to the button clicking. And also then, you know, maybe if they're there when I'm not there and somebody's not doing it as well, they can be like, hey, Justin does it like this. And like, understanding the reasoning and the why behind doing stuff. Like, that's something that I've always tried to do with the kids, is like, I don't just want you to do it. I want you to understand why we're doing it. Like, there's,
and maybe there's a better way of doing it. If you understand why we're doing it this way, maybe you can come up with, you find an inefficiency. I'd always tell them, like, yo, if you have an idea for like how we could make this better, let me know. But you're not going to be able to do that unless you understand why it's being done in the first place, the way it's being done.
And that's been talked about before, like the way the Department of Education and the education itself in this country is it's designed to teach kids to follow instructions, not to solve problems. And it's creating generation after generation of dumbass who doesn't actually understand what they're doing or why they're doing it. They just know that they have to.
I mean, think about it from a politician's perspective, though. What would you want? Would you want people that are questioning the 39 trillion and where these tax dollars are going? Or do you just want these fucking seals that will applaud when you just say something sing-songy that sounds nice? Elizabeth Warren, she's got her billionaire tax. She likes to use these. I didn't send you the post that has the pennies. She's like, if they just pay 2 more pennies for every dollar that they earn, we can have Medicare for all and universal free childcare and tuition-free college. And it's like, no, you can't. You can't have any of that. First of all, none of these projections are ever correct. And it's just like, of course, they don't want anybody to think it through. They want them to see, oh yeah, pennies, like those are worthless now because of the government spending. Like, you used to be able, when I was a kid, there was a fucking penny store like near my house. You could go in there with fucking pennies and buy shit. That's how fucking old I am. And that's how much value they've destroyed. But it's just like, yeah, they do not want a critically thinking electorate. They want fucking zombies that they can control emotionally and get them on board to do whatever while they're pocketing trillions of dollars for themselves. To watch, like, I sent you that video of that kid that was like complaining about his generation or something.
Oh yeah, I've got that.
To watch them, like, these kids, yeah, they're fucked. They're in a really shitty position. But what they can't put together because of this government education program is that all of these problems are, I'm not being hyperbolic here, they can 100% be traced back to government in one way, shape, or form. And there's like, their default code is to be like, okay, here's a problem, we need government to fix it. It's like, no. The reason you have the problem in the first place is because of government. And now you're asking the government to come in and help you. And it's like, the government's the reason you're in the fucking problem in the first place. But go ahead and play that. 'Cause I actually haven't listened to all of it. I just read like the bullet points.
They tell us to stop eating out and rent $2,000 a month. Oh, save for retirement. And yet you can barely save for next week. Go buy a house. Every house is $500,000, brother. I'm not asking for a handout, man. We're asking for a freaking fair shot at life. Our parents did not work harder than we work right now. They were simply just given a better chance. Their wages covered their lives, their bills, their hobbies, their passions. Our wages barely cover our freaking bills for the month, dude. No amount of budgeting can ever fix a system designed to keep us down. We're doing the best that we can, and yet it feels like the outcome has already been decided.
Yeah, I mean, he's not entirely wrong, but
right, he's not totally right, but he's definitely not entirely wrong.
Yeah, what is the difference between, you know, his parents' generation and what they were doing, and now? Like, what has changed? Has the government gotten fucking 10,000 times bigger? Do you remember the chart that was going like a fucking hockey stick? That's the difference. That's it. Government has gotten a million times bigger, and they're spending a million times more.
And the thing is, this isn't something that's new. Like, you know, we talked about the lack of curiosity. Like, if you look at Rome, if you look at any like empire across the entirety of history, this is exactly how it plays out. Literally every fucking time. This is not new or unique. We're just watching the same thing that's happened at least 6 times throughout the course of history that I know of happen once again. It's not.
I mean, and the U.S. government is literally running a Ponzi scheme. So who benefits the most from Ponzi schemes are the ones that are in the Ponzi scheme early enough, who are able to get out of it. The boomers are getting out of it. Everybody else is going to be left holding the bag of the biggest fucking Ponzi scheme the world has ever seen. That's the problem. and to sit back and watch these politicians just ask for more tax dollars. Like the level of disrespect they have for people is mind-boggling. Oh, we just need to raise taxes here and here and here, and then we'll be able to give you all this free stuff. Bullshit. And what did you do? This is in the wake of rampant fraud, like just blatant rampant fraud that's being uncovered in California and Minnesota and Chicago. And we know it's everywhere. Tens of billions of dollars per state easily just being stolen. The government spending on everything is out of control. Or now we got another war to fund. And it's just like, and now they're going to ask for more money when things are worse than ever. It's just, it's amazing to watch them operate and to watch people still approve of it. It's like, oh yeah, we just tax those guys a little more. It's literally like Elizabeth Warren's proposal is literally verbatim what the proposal was for the income tax. It's just like, oh, we just need to, except it's twice what the income tax was supposed to be. She wants 2% on like anything over like 100 million or something. And it was only 1%, the original income tax on the 1%. And she wants 2% and then an extra percent for anything over $1 billion. But it's literally like, yeah, we just tax these guys 1%, 2%, Rockefellers, Carnegies, those guys, Vanderbilts, and you'll get everything for free. All this stuff that you were paying for through excise taxes and import taxes and things, you'll just get it free now. And now we're all paying 30, 40% fucking income taxes. and that's not enough. Obviously, they're running $2 trillion deficits and we're $39 trillion in debt. So we have to come up with another version of that to start on the ultra wealthy that will eventually trickle down to everybody else. I talked about this on one of the episodes over the last couple of weeks where like New York has their wealth tax. This Mom Donnie's like proposing this wealth tax that's like anything over like any property over like valued at $750,000 now is the estate tax. He's lowering it from 15 million to 750K or something, which is basically anybody in New York that owns a house is now subject to a 50% wealth tax. It's fucking insane.
Did you see that thing where what's her name? Hochul, the governor of New York, was talking about how they need more wealthy people living in New York to fund all of these projects and stuff. Like, yeah, Bill de Blasio was begging rich people to stop fleeing the city just like 5 or 6 years ago, because he realized if we don't have rich people living here, we can't fund all this bullshit that we want to do, because they are actually the ones who pay all the taxes. They're not just paying their fair share, they're paying everything. Like if they all leave, then we're fucked. Like Hochul is like begging rich people to move back to New York and stay in New York because they need their taxes to fund all of these like fucking social projects that they want to do. It's like, for what? Like what purpose does that serve any of the people who are actually funding it?
Right. And it's just such a weird thing because they have so much disdain for rich people. Like billionaires shouldn't exist. Millionaires shouldn't exist. It's like, well, who the fuck is going to fund all your fucking fantasies? All this socialist fucking, all these socialist fucking pipe dreams. If you don't have billionaires, who's going to fund it?
Oh, did you see that thing on Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax? It would also levy a 40% exit tax on anyone worth more than 50 million who renounces their U.S. citizenship. So,
yeah, like, so you're no longer free to leave if you don't like it. I guess that retarded argument is completely out the window. Yeah, I tweeted about that. I was like, because that's the one thing. Oh, if you don't like it, you can leave. Apparently, I can't. Not without them chopping me in half one more time. They did. I did see. I forgot to mention this. I had it queued up on one of the prior shows. They reduced the cost of just a regular person renouncing their citizenship, like the form to fill out. It was $2,500, and I think they knocked it down to like $400 or something. So I don't know what there has to be some sort of string attached to that, because I can't imagine why they're offering it to make it cheaper for people to fucking abandon a sinking ship. I didn't have it look into it very deeply. I just saw the headlines like, oh, there's a little bit of, not every day you see a little bit of freedom coming back, but you're still not free to leave. It used to be free. Then it was like $50, and then they jumped it to $2,500. Now apparently they're reducing it, but there's got to be some sort of kicker. Got to be. And but if you have a business or something like that, the exit tax is already insane.
Oh, yeah. The U.S. Department of State recently reduced the renunciation fee from $2,350 to $450, which will be effective April 13th of this year.
All right, there you go. Do it then. Then you have to pay your fucking taxes on April 15th. That's coming up.
Oh, renunciation is irreversible and must be voluntary, and it does not absolve you of prior tax obligations.
Of course not.
Naturally.
That.
If I wasn't already on some lists, I definitely got myself on some lists by searching for renouncing U.S. citizenship.
Yeah.
There's a lot of loopholes and shit for this. I mean, nothing.
You know, how hard could it be for you to get back into the country once Trump's out of office? You don't need your citizenship. Just renounce it and then just stay here.
Oh, you lose the right. You lose the right to vote. You lose access.
Oh, no.
You lose access to government services, which if you're not a citizen, why would you need those anyway? Like the only reason you need the government services is because the government requires you to use those government services. You can't be a federal employee if you renounce your citizenship. And you also lose the automatic right to live and work in the U.S., but you can just get your H-1B and you'll be good.
Yeah. But I mean, like, dude, for somebody like me who works for himself, who would completely blend into the U.S., I don't think ICE would be hunting me down. I could pay $400 or whatever, renounce my citizenship, live in the U.S. tax-free. I don't vote. I haven't voted in fucking 20 whatever years. Like, I'm not going to work for the government. I don't vote. I wouldn't have to pay any more fucking taxes.
And then you wouldn't be required to carry insurance and all this. Like you wouldn't be required to carry insurance. Like you could do insurance the way you want to do it.
Yeah. It would make traveling difficult not having a passport. I have to get another good passport. I don't know. Something to think about. How else can you get out from under the boot of the U.S. government? Like you just can't do it. You have to pay your way out. It's really what a sad state of affairs. How far we've come. The land of the free, home of the brave. And we are just buried, just up to our fucking eyeballs in taxes and just bending over constantly, getting fucked by the federal government.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this up. Jim said this earlier, calculator kids to tablet kids to AI kids. It's made us all dumber, even though our access to information is exponentially increased. It's because the AI kids just trust whatever the AI tells them. Like they just think that the AI is giving them the correct information, even though it's cherry picking the information that it's getting from the internet. I don't know if you've ever used any of them. Like my favorite is the Snapchat AI. I named mine Napoleon. He didn't like it, but he agreed to it. And I have conversations with Napoleon from time to time about different like historical events and stuff to see what the AI will say about certain things, and then I'll challenge it on stuff, and you can usually get it to eventually come around to telling the truth, more or less. But like, how many of these kids just like trust implicitly whatever AI says? Like even they trust the AI even more than they trust their teacher because it's coming from the internet, so obviously it has all of the information, right? Like it's not subject to its human limitations of knowledge. Like it has all of these resources available to it, except that it's telling them what it wants them to hear. Like, and then on the same hand, you've got Bernie Sanders imposing legislation to, announcing legislation to impose a moratorium on more AI data centers. I thought AI was supposed to be a good thing.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and I understand what is at stake. That is why today we are announcing legislation to impose a moratorium on the construction of new AI data centers until strong national safeguards are in place to ensure that AI is safe and effective.
Okay. Yeah, let's let the fucking geriatrics decide the pace that AI should move. Are you fucking kidding? Not only is he a retarded socialist, he's 100 fucking years old. Why don't you sit this one out, Bern? He's gonna ruin it. The government is going to ruin it. It's just like, can you just keep your fucking paws off of one goddamn thing for once? He's just worried about his goddamn unions. He's worried about the teachers' unions and all these other fucking unions that are doing a shitty job that are going to be replaced. All these auto workers and everything. The TSA, like, dude, their days are numbered. Thank fucking God. I can't wait to replace all these idiots with robots. Please do it. And it should bring down the cost of everything, but rest assured, Bernie Sanders is and AOC and company are going to do everything they can to make sure that you can't possibly gain from any of this. And make it as expensive as possible.
Well, and like, I'm not opposed to shutting down building AI data centers and stuff, like, because more often than not, they're going in rural areas and taking up farmland. And like, it's the same thing with the solar farms and the wind farms, the AI data centers. They are, instead of using infrastructure and areas that would seem to make sense to put these things, they're buying up farmland and destroying rural America to do it. Like, so I'm not opposed to shutting all of this fucking shit down. Just like, not for the reason.
Why aren't they just buying up all these vacant fucking high rises in Chicago and New York?
Right? Like, there are plenty of areas that all of this could be done without buying up farmland. Like,
probably the lands or the buildings are too expensive or whatever. I don't know.
I'm sure. And like, the problem that we had here was like a lot of this farmland that ended up going into solar farms. It was land that was owned by people who are my age that don't farm, that they inherited from their parents. And then they were just leasing it out to farmers in the area. So when the solar farms come in and they're like, oh, we'll give you this much above what the lease is that you're making, they're like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like, they don't care about the farm. Like, for like me and my brother and people who actually come from a farm family, like, that stuff is important. But a lot of this newer, our generation, unfortunately, they don't give a shit. And so like, they just going wherever the money takes them. And there's all these government backings on this that give them more money to go and buy up this farmland. And so it's just fucking the whole thing. And then that pushes up property value, or the property costs in your county in these rural areas, where now the next time a tract of land comes up for sale, the price is jacked up through the roof, where average farmers can't afford it, because all the comps show, well, all of this land sold for this because the fucking solar farms are buying it up using these all these government subsidies. It just fucks the whole thing. Like, I'm not opposed to shutting all of this shit down, just not for the reasons that Bernie Sanders wants to.
Right. Did you see there was some farmer that turned down like a $27 million offer for their farm to turn it into an AI data center? They turned down the offer because they did care. It was a working farm, and they were planning on working it. God bless them. That's got to be a tough thing to do when they offer you just life-changing money to, okay, I can retire right now instead of fucking breaking my back every day.
We've got a friend of the family that he lucked into doing it right. He he has a tract of land that the solar company offered him this massive amount of money to lease the property so that they could put panels on it. But it was dependent on, they also were expecting to lease this other big piece of property that connected from his property to where the substation was going to be. And then the guy who owned the property in the middle pulled out at the last minute. He was like, nah, never mind. Fuck y'all. So the friend of the family, he gets to keep farming his shit because they can't put anything on it, because they can't connect to the substation because they don't have access to the property in the middle. So he's getting paid by the solar company while also being able to continue to operate his farm. Like, if you can find something where you can fuck them like that, that's the way to go. But like my brother, they've tried to get, we have a farm in Tennessee, and they've tried to get him to lease some of that out. And he's like, no, you can go fuck yourself. Like, we're going to farm this until there's not a Campbell left in the county to farm it. Like, like, if we will go bankrupt, and then you can buy it from us out of bankruptcy, but we're not going to voluntarily give you our shit. Fuck you. Go away.
Yeah. There's got to be a better piece of land that can be used for AI data centers. And I don't know, the low hanging fruit just seems like all these vacant buildings in Chicago, for instance.
Well, like, the fucked up thing is, like, out here, they're buying up good farmland to do this. We're in coal country. There are all these closed down mines that have been backfilled that don't have any other purpose. Like, it's just open spots. They could put up all these solar panels on those and not cut into the available farmland in the area. It's like, why are they? It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's infuriating. And then, again, going back to the education conversation we had earlier, like, the people who they're buying the land from are too fucking stupid to understand. Like, you're fucking yourself long term. Like, yeah, it's a 28-year lease, and at the end of the 28 years, then they'll take all of the panels out and everything, and it can go back to being farmland, except that it can't, because if you look into the leaching and everything else of all the stuff that they do to put the panels in, as soon as they take all that out, all that land is completely destroyed. Like, it cannot be used for anything ever again. Also, if this solar company comes in and they put up all these panels and they say they're going to pay you, $800 a month per acre to lease this land, and then the solar company goes out of business, whoever buys them is not beholden to whatever that contract is. So you're stuck with all these fucking solar panels on your property, and you're going to get whatever this new company offers you, which is not going to be the $800 or $1,200 or whatever they were paying you. Like, the whole thing is fucking ridiculous, and people are too fucking stupid to understand you are fucking yourself by doing this.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, these are all driven by government subsidies as well.
Right. And as soon as the subsidies dry up, then this whole thing goes away. Like, it's worthless. You saw the same thing. So I know I've written about it and talked about it before on my own show and on my Substack. Like, if you look at like 2005, when the ethanol subsidies became a big thing, like, it didn't take a genius to look at the numbers and figure out, without the subsidies, ethanol did not work. It did not make monetary sense for the ethanol companies or anybody else involved. But as long as the subsidies were there, then that could keep driving it. And as soon as the subsidies started to go away, all of these ethanol plants that got built started going out of business or having to convert to making whiskey or doing something else. That market got significantly smaller really, really quick, because without the subsidies, it didn't make financial sense. And it's the same way with all the wind farms, the solar farms. If you take away all these green energy subsidies, none of it makes any financial sense whatsoever fucking ever. Not only does it not make financial sense, they don't generate enough power to replace the natural gas, coal, or other plants that already exist. Like, they're shutting down coal plants and natural gas plants to replace them with solar farms and wind farms, but the solar farms and the wind farms can't generate enough energy to meet the demand of the grid. So, like, nothing about it makes any sense, but they keep fucking pushing it. This is government retardation 101.
Yeah. Well, the politicians are getting rich off it. They're getting all the lobbying money. And it sounds good. It sounds good to, somebody in government schools is like, oh, the planet. We got to save the planet. We got to go green. Yeah. Another job well done.
For real.
By the government there. One thing I wanted to ask you while we're hovering around the farming issues. I don't know if you've been following anything going on with the fallout from the Iran war, but I was reading a couple articles about all the fertilizer that's being basically they can't move it through the Straits of Hormuz. And so there's going to be like a huge supply shock in 6 to 9 months for the next group of crops, because there's just not enough fertilizer being transported through there.
6 to 9 months will probably have more effect on South America than here with any small amount of luck. But with that being said, if the South American market moves because of something like that, it's going to affect the U.S. market as well. So that if that doesn't get resolved probably in the next 90 days, that could be a severe problem going forward. But so it's going to be one of those like wait and see, like do they actually get some shit resolved with this and get stuff moving again? Like I said, it's 6 to 9 months is not necessarily terrible for U.S. farmers, because by that point, most of what's going in the ground for this upcoming season will already be in the ground, and most of the chemicals will be applied and a lot of that stuff. But it could be really bad, especially going into next year. And again, like I said, that would have more effect on the South American market. And if the South American market moves significantly, that will also affect the U.S. market. So it's one of those too early. I read you had sent an article and I kind of grazed through it. It's one of those like, as of right now, it's too early to tell, but check back in about a month and a half to 2 months, and we might have some legit feel for like it will create kind of like with gas prices and the stock market having some major fluctuations right now in response to the war. The commodity markets are also going to respond as a panic response right away, but that'll kind of settle itself out over the next week or two, and then you kind of see stuff I don't know, kind of hit a sideways trend until we really understand just how much impact it's going to have. So that's one of those things that we'll have to kind of keep an eye on over the next couple of months and see what happens with it.
Yeah. I did see, because I think Russia was like going to stop their exports of whatever the main for ammonium nitrate or some shit like that. And they're like the number one exporter of it. The US was number 2. So we have a lot of it. It sounds like that we could just hold on to. It might not be as big of an effect in the US, but that makes sense that the rest of the South America and everything. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, like I said, I read that article that you had sent on it, and that's going to be more of a long-term consequence thing than a right now thing. So we'll have to keep an eye on it and see what happens with that. And like the crazy thing is, so like when the Ukraine war first started back, a few years ago, there was all this like, oh, we're going to shut down Russia exporting oil and all of this stuff. Is like, well, the U.S. buys like 12% of Russia's oil exports. Why the fuck are we doing that when we have our own oil supplies? Like, there's a lot of stuff that why does the U.S. buy Russian grain when we produce more grain than we need as it is? Like, there's all these government deals and other things that are involved in it. So it doesn't have to be as impactful as what it might be, depending on how the people in Washington decide to handle it. Like there's always a lot of extra layers to it that can fuck stuff in a way that stuff doesn't need to be fucked.
Yeah. Oh, I keep seeing all these stories now. Of course, dude. Of course. I am probably single-handedly responsible for this war breaking out because I planned another major vacation this year. Japan and Vietnam. Vietnam is apparently having major issues with not being able to get any oil now. So they're like canceling flights, all this shit. And if you recall, I was single-handedly responsible for COVID because I had planned a vacation for March of or June of 2020. So this is perfect.
Good job, John.
I'm gonna get if I do end up going to Vietnam, I'm gonna get fucking stuck there because they're gonna cancel my flight. Because
we're gonna have you put on a no-fly list just so you can't fuck stuff up from everybody else anymore.
Yeah. It really is something. Really is something. At least most of the stuff I reserve the right to cancel. Should this war that's not a war progress into something even worse over the next 2-3 months? 2 months, Jesus. Yeah, March is almost over. March is basically over. 27th. Yeah. Holy shit. Time does fly. All right. Well, that'll probably do it for today, right? We're coming up on time.
We got so for the happy hour tonight, I've got to go through and look at. Sean had Jackbox on his Steam account, so I'm gonna set up Jackbox so we can play some games. And also the morning show, guys. We've had a bunch of like funny videos and other dumb bullshit that we've been sharing in our own group chat that we've between me and everything that's going on, and Dag's been traveling for work, and we've just had everybody's had a lot of stuff going on, so we've been very erratic with doing shows of the morning show. So we've got like a backlog of fun, dumb, bullshit videos that we can go. So we got a lot of fun shit that we can do tonight while we're doing the happy hour. And if you don't want to have your face, like we can do it. I'll send you the link for the night show thing to send out. And if you don't want to have your face shown, there's a little camera down here at the bottom when you log in, and you just tap that camera, and then it'll put up an image of whatever, and then you don't have to have your face shown if you don't want to be seen on camera. But definitely, everybody should join us. It'll be a fun night.
Yeah. What time are we doing that?
You want to do it at 7:30? That's when we usually do the night stuff.
All right. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to see Jim's stupid face. Beautiful.
I hadn't seen his stupid face in a while. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, I better load up on some libation. What I got? Not much. I think I just got tequila.
For those who are watching the video, Stephanie came out here earlier and sat on the beanbag for a minute. The only reason she came out here was she was wondering where I put her bottle of wine. So she's already getting started. So.
All right. Oh yeah, I gotta get some wine. Maybe. I got a couple hours. Okay. All right, so we'll do that 7:30 Central Time, and that's it. Everybody else have a nice weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday to do this all over again. Until that day, you guys know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Peace.